Welcome back. Angela Civitella, founder of Intinde, business leadership coach and coaching from around the country. She's joining us right now to help you land a new job or promotion in the new year. But first, tell us about Intinde. What is it? How did it get started? Who are you guys?
Thank you for having me, and happy holidays to you and to everyone. Intinde started from a need to want to pay it forward. I'm an executive. I've been a decision maker for many, many years, and found that I had something to give and offer to executives or entrepreneurs that wanted to have a better alignment when it came to their vision in terms of leadership, either in an organization or from a mission statement, vision statement for their business. Coming from an entrepreneurial background, I thought that field experience would be useful for others to benefit from. So Intinde was created, and so our niche market are executives and entrepreneurs looking to improve their skill set in terms of their leadership style, realign their team, see if they have the right team from an organizational perspective, so that everything is designed to create fluidity and profitability in the business.
But Angela, you guys can really help anyone who's looking for a job out there, right?
Yes, we are very transferable in terms of who our market is and the people that we can help. So anybody that is looking for either a career change or a career pivot, the two are very distinct. A lot of people get those two confused, and it's important to note that they're very, very different. One is exactly that, a career change, which means you go from whatever industry you're in to another industry. A career pivot means that you've identified that you have skills that could be transferable to another department. Because in the climate that we're in, and especially going forward into 2021, a lot of companies probably won't have the budgets to hire all the skill set that they need. So they're probably looking for people that are extremely versatile. So the career pivot comes in handy there, whereby all of a sudden it's your duty at this point. It's incumbent upon you to look into your bag of goods and see what skills you have that you've never really demonstrated to anybody before. Maybe you know that you could be a good manager, but no one's ever really asked you to do that. So if someone is looking for that, maybe now's the time to say, you know what, I think I could do this. I think I have the right skill set to be able to manage a team or project, a department, whatever the case is, wherever there's a need. Don't be shy. Now's the time to really speak out and stand out, because there's going to be a lot of moving parts in the new year.
So how does somebody know if they want to make a total change or a pivot? Like if I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe something new would be good to make a change. How do you know, like, if you should totally try something new, or really if it's in your best interest to pivot?
So a career change usually comes about when either you realize that you are no longer interested and you're disengaged in what it is that you do, or if the business that you're in decides to outsource or just completely delete whatever position you had in that business. So that would be either or. The decision is either made for you, or you're making the decision because you find that you no longer have the passion to do what it is that you're doing. So that is a career change. That's a telltale sign. A career pivot, like I just mentioned, usually happens when you notice that maybe what you were doing is no longer really necessary, or maybe it has been streamlined, but you realize that there's some skills that you have that they could use. And this is where you come to the forefront and make yourself known for these other skills that have never been tapped into. So that's a career pivot.
And you can probably help people decide that when they go to your website, they contact you. Could I say, we talk, and you give me one-on-one advice? You ask me a series of questions, and you kind of give us some helpful advice if we were to call you? Is that how, or you know, do a Zoom call with you? Is that how it works?
Our job is to make it easy for you to find out exactly what your purpose is. what if you still have a purpose in the business that you're in, or if you need to seek it elsewhere. If you are still in full commitment with the skill set that you're using every day, or if you're not. Our job is to put you in sync with that. And if that is no longer in alignment, then our job is to find out what it is that you can offer, what your new offering, what your new offering in the marketplace could be, but you've never really zeroed in on it and never really had the guidance to be able to zero in on maybe something else, a lateral, a skill that you have, that you possess, that you've thought about, but you've never really completely activated. Mm-hmm. So we really work with you to position you in the right path for you to create the right reality for you.
And I think that's important because I think there are a lot of people out there that say, I kind of like to do something different, but I don't really know what it is. And they probably kind of do know in the back of their mind, but they need a little push, right?
So a lot of people do know. They need to be told. They need to be told. And also at the same time, they need a little hand-holding because they're afraid to dare for something new, something that maybe someone told them they could never do, they would never be good at. So we try to eliminate all those barriers, whether visible or invisible, because a lot of it is about mindset. So we really work very strongly on your mindset to really make sure that you are well equipped to be able to clearly crystallize what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And the weaknesses we identify, we work on turning them into an opportunity for you to grow.
Okay. What industries, what companies are needing people or will be needing people in 2021? Who's hiring?
Unfortunately, a lot of companies need, it's funny. People say, I don't need coaching until they realize they do. Mm-hmm. And next year is going to be very telling for people that may need extra assistance and guidance and being able to realign their critical thinking when it comes to their career. So, our services are applicable and everyone could benefit from them because we tap into things from a general perspective that are good for anybody looking to ascend in their career as an entrepreneur or as an executive. So we don't really limit ourselves because what we do is effective for anybody seeking some guidance, some reinforcement, and some realignment into the vision that they want to create for themselves.
And I would think tech companies would be big in maybe hiring or looking for creative people right now because it seems like they're doing really well during COVID as so many of us are inside in our homes. Is that kind of the feeling you get from people that you're talking to in the industry?
Yes, because with the advent of all these wonderful apps now that have become, the way to meet, the way to stay connected and not feel so isolated. Yes, these tech companies with all these different apps whereby they're hiring more and more, on their platform to service, the multitude of people that are accessing this only medium that we have right now is definitely a very buoyant industry. Most definitely.
Yeah, and speaking of COVID, it's a very different world when we're talking about job interviews, right?
It's completely changed, the field of how to interview and how to be interviewed, okay? A lot of people go to an interview being very passive about it, thinking that all they need to do is just answer whatever questions are being asked to the best of their ability, and then they wonder if they've aced the interview or not. Engage in the interview as well. Okay. It's your job to interview the employer as well. Find out who you want to work for. Find out who they are. At the same time as they find out who you are. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, and I was going to say I totally get that because they truly want people that are asking questions, who know a lot about their company, who want to be involved, right?
They want people that are invested, interested, and want to make want to add value to the business. So it's usually people that come in already knowing what the business stands for, what they do, how long they've been around, who the team is, who the owners are, what their markets are. They already have the blueprint of the business. So you want to look to hire people like that because they already come in interested and invested in what you're doing.
Okay, and I know you've got so many tips for those folks who are looking for a job, and that's going to be COVID related as well when it comes to Zoom calls. And also just, we can talk a little bit when we come back from the break also about your resume. I think a lot of people are still like wondering if they haven't looked for a job in a long time, what do you put on it? So stick with us. We're not going anywhere. We're going to tell you what you need to land that job right after the break.